Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video we're going to be testing out the quad lock. That's right, if you got a bicycle, love to ride, and want that extra space in your backpack, I usually keep it in the back of my pouch of my cycling vest. Put bananas in there, snacks, and the long distance bike rides instead of my phone. But on the shorter rides I don't do anything, I just keep it on the side. But when you need that extra space, let's see if the quad lock is just right for you. This is for my phone, the iPhone 15 Pro. I don't recommend buying a quad lock if you plan to sell your phone, because Apple will give you maybe $400 or $500 for your phone. Not sure what the rate is now, and you just pay the difference. So if you plan to do that, don't buy this because these are pretty expensive. This was actually a birthday gift. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Shout out to you. And so knowing that moving forward, let's see what's inside. Haven't opened it yet. But this is it. Again, this is designated towards my phone. I'm not selling it anytime soon, but I do plan to just wipe out everything and erase it and sort of like give it a second life. I don't really need the latest and greatest when it comes to the phone because all I do is make calls on there. So let's see what we have here. But I do want that extra space on my bicycle. Little pamphlet in there. Don't really need that. We'll just put this in here, add that to the collection of other boxes. So this is my current case. It's a Zag case, had it for a while. Like always, any case that you have, when it's new, it's so clean inside, when for some reason, I don't know how all that stuff gets in there. I could probably sell this. And like the new case, oh wow, look, looks like it has the feature for wireless charging. We'll test that out. This could probably go in here. It's a little snug. I don't know, I hope it fits. What? Hold on. Let's see. Maybe put it in from the bottom. Wow, this is tight. Ah, there we go. A little tricky to get in, but has that protection. Fell on a rock, not so much. But look, it has that upper lip here, which is great if it lands on its face. Then we have this one here, the handlebar mount. We'll test it out on the bike. We'll put it on. Hopefully it's not in the way and I can still cycle and pedal and my knees don't hit it. There we go. Zip ties, which are great for locking down your phone or protesters. Let's see what we have here. Oh, nice. I'm not a fan of the rubber band experience, especially when you have like a expensive phone tied to your device. And these do weather. After time, you're going to need new washers or whatever they call these things, because things just aren't going to hold the way they used to. So I would probably recommend the zip tie experience. We'll see how that goes on. Hopefully there are instructions that show you how to do this one, because I would probably do that one. I might do the rubber band at first, but if your bike is kept in the garage, every year I have to replace these things on my Garmin crankset sensor. That gives me the rotations per minute because it just, gets weathered. So knowing that moving forward, don't rely on the rubber band experience because you will lose your stuff. Knowing that moving forward, let's see the last part. It's a bummer that everything came a la carte, but this was a gift, so very generous. Thank you again, Ed, because I know this was not cheap, but just wish it came as a set. Like, hey, get the quad lock bike mount. And then this, apparently the flat bar, because I have a flat bar on my bike, has to be bought separately. Let's see what this is here. Nice. Oh wow, this is cool. This is definitely what I need. I mean, that came in its own little packaging. Zip ties, which are great. Highly recommend. No rubber bands in that one, which is good because I don't think that would be optimal for this thing. We'll figure out how to put it on the stem. This one doesn't come with, oh it does. So each one comes with a little instruction, no instruction package. I guess it's pretty much guesswork, but, or watch this video. We make these videos so you don't have to. Interesting. This looks like there's a little adhesive in there that you stick onto your bike. And come, let's go outside, check this out, and see how we can put it on the bike. Looks like this one's going to be a permanent fit. Hopefully I didn't mix these up. All zip ties are the same length to some extent. I might have to rewind the video and see which ones came with what. Most likely, we'll figure it out. So this is the flat mount. As you can see, it does come with an adhesive in there. We want to make sure it sits just right, so everything is fluid and streamlined. So we want to make sure that this is where it needs to be. We'll undo that. Let's see what we got in here. Strip probably for the main mount. So in order to make sure this, whoops, don't break the stuff, so that's fine. So make sure that this will actually sit there like that. And ties, most likely, hopefully, it will be the longer one. No, longer one's not gonna go around. That's not even the longer one. It only comes with, well, it does come with two longer ones, which would probably go higher up instead of underneath, not going to reach. So it looks like we're gonna have to use the zip ties. This one, that's a little bit thicker. Just make sure they match before you put them on. So just do that, line them up, and as you can see, they don't match. So I need the other one. You decide which ones work right for you. It's not like you have to use these. They're zip ties. It's a universal fit. So we're just gonna lock this on the phone like that, right? And then there we go. Put that like that. Make sure it's positioned where you want it. We can definitely adjust it. Want to make sure your bike is serviceable. So we're gonna put that like that. It won't fit my bike by default, so you have to buy the flat mount, because as you can see, it won't go here and it won't go there. Knowing that and moving forward, let's take off the adhesive, which is right here. Interesting. Looks like not really impressed by my first experience, which could be your last, because that should not be peeling off. It's a double-sided tape, as you saw. Feel free to reinforce if needed, and then we stick it on like that. Slip this back under, since we got it in its position, because I need to be able to take these off, right, without finagling anything. And then make sure it seats exactly where you want it, and make sure it's centered, right? Because you could always use adhesive tape to center it, let it stick, and just let weather do the work when it comes to removing it or having it not stick anymore. It's final fit. And then we're going to do the other one, and you could use wire cutters or scissors to cut it if need be. Make it tighter. Make sure. Oh, bummer. Yeah, a little bit of a bummer. I would say run it under your we could probably remove it by feeding it under your brake lines. So let me just get a screwdriver. So you just jam, if you need to undo it, jam the previous zip tie under there, and then you can pull it out. You could actually use these as a key to remove if you have other zip ties that you want, because you see it's thinner over here. So what you would do is you would take your other zip tie that's locked, like this one, and then take the smoother end and then jam it underneath, and it should be able to reverse it so that you can undo it. See? There's one. It takes a little bit of muscle, but once you got it, you can undo it. So the thinner one will actually undo the thicker one. If it's too thick, it's not going to fit. So keep this as a key, or if you don't, use a flathead screwdriver or flat something like that, and run it under your brake line, okay? Not over, especially when you have hydraulic lines. You do not want your cables to be tight or zipped. Great, so we're just running it underneath, and looks like we might be able, once it's evenly to where you want it on one side, you just pull it. And remember, you can undo it by jamming another one in there. And then now make sure, you don't really need to make sure it's centered, because it's hard to get it really tight, as tight as you want it. And now it's pretty much on there. Here's how it looks on this end. See, we ran it under the brake line. You don't want to tighten those brake lines, especially if you want to service it. The guy's going to have to cut it. But in this case, it doesn't have to be cut, because as you can see, it goes under the brake line, okay? It's a little snug in there, but we managed to do it. Knowing that, moving forward, we should be able to put the phone on in its correct position. within the quad lock experience. See? Oh, nice. Now I see why it's called quad lock, because you hear it when it clicks. Let's see how we take it off. To take it off, it looks like we have to push this down underneath, right? Push on the blue, and then find that angle, and then it pops right off. Looks like we might have to tighten this a little bit up in the front because it moved a tad. If you can pull it so it just manages to go really tight, you are golden. We can put it on like that. See, it locks right in. And to remove it, you just push down on this like that underneath. See that? And then turn it at that angle, and then voila. And there you got your stuff. And now we can put it on again. Voila. And now we can just snip these right here. Remember how to remove it. Once you remove this, you're gonna have to put a new one on though, okay? Make sure it's as snug as you want to be. And I think we're ready to snip one. And snip two. And that's pretty much it. Come.
So the installation was a tad tricky because of my handlebar stem, but it worked out really well with those zip ties. As you can see, just want to take it for a short test ride to make sure that everything holds. Because you never know with these things, especially with my Bookman light. I think I have to have that mount replaced. And so far, so good. Phone is mounted on there. It really is locked on there with the quad lock. It's not going anywhere. Really stable. I don't feel like I need so many accessories on there when it comes to the Garmin and an additional screen with the phone, because your text messages will come in on your Garmin, and I don't need to reply while I'm riding, but if it's an emergency, you'll see them. And again, this is for me on those longer distance rides where I just need that extra space. Every bit of real estate counts when you're doing a longer ride and your phone is actually in the way. But there's really no need to be texting and riding at the same time. So I just use as needed. It's convenient now. Garmin Pay does work, so if you forget your phone, but Garmin Pay works with Capital One Bank right now. I think Bank of America and a few others. So you don't really need to use your phone. So if your phone dies, you could use your Garmin to pay for certain items as long as it's a participating provider when it comes to the bank. But the quad lock, so far so good. Even the vibrations handled really well. That little adhesive thing, I don't see that coming off anytime soon because as you see, it's put together with the zip ties. So the zip ties are pretty tight, and the only way those zip ties are coming off is if you snip them. So hopefully the bike never has to be serviced in a sense where those zip ties will have to be snapped. But so far so good. I like it. It's great. Not too clunky, doesn't take up a lot of space. You can still take off the additional accessories as needed. So if I need to access my Garmin, it actually does turn without a problem, but that's only because of the way we set it up in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning, we make sure before we actually put the zip ties on that there was enough real estate there to play with when it came to mounting additional accessories on there. And then put the zip ties on. The zip ties can be removed, but remember that little trick that we showed you by putting something small and sharp in there and then pulling out. So you'll have more than one take. If you can't figure out how to do it, then just snip it. And then you're pretty much going to have to go to Home Depot or hardware store to get zip ties, but they're not exclusive zip ties, any designated zip ties long enough to go around your handlebar stem. But I highly recommend if you do get replacements, just make sure they're the same width and length. All right. And it's pretty good. The only thing that's making me nervous around here is the kid. You never know with kids. Kids don't, they're not going to say on your left, on your right. And then you don't, if he's going straight or left. So, I'm like just going to stay behind him because they don't really make an announcement while I'm turning or, give a signal. That you just have to pray and hope you don't run into them, whenever they're riding. But it's pretty good. Beautiful day out, which is great. I'm pretty sure it handles well in the weather when it comes to getting wet, because sometimes the metal components in there could rust out. I noticed that on my Nori Bell. After some years, things just got corroded in there, but I can't really say much for the quad lock because I have not had it long enough to know when it came to that longer ride or years, when you when things just age. But so far so good. It's built strong, built to last. From as far as I know, you know, ideally, if you need to put your phone somewhere while riding, definitely great. Just again, there's no need to be texting while riding, but if you do, just make sure you pull over to the side so that you don't wind up in a wreck, because it only takes a few seconds. But this is just great because I can't wait to have that extra space while riding and doing that long distance ride and not having to worry about where to keep my bananas or snacks and other accessories on that 100-mile bike ride. And yeah, I can say I'm really happy with it, and I'll let you know how it goes in the future.
Kind of neat, huh? Every day is quad day on leg day with the quad lock. Worked out just fine, didn't move around or bounce around. It held, even though I thought in the beginning it wasn't going to. I probably use this on my longer rides when I do 50, 60, or 100 miles. This way I could leave the extra space in the back of my pouch for snacks and other accessories I might need, and in here too. And worked out just fine. I can't wait to use it on those longer rides. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope that this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.